Hello everybody. So today we are going to do a topic of trigonometric functions where we are going to check the values of trigonometric function at sum or differences of angles. And for that we are going to study certain formulas. The formulas, as you can see on the board, the trigonometric ratios of sine where two angles are added, okay, where angle A and B is being added over here, and then angle A and B is subtracted over here, A plus B. So same way, what happens is we have got certain formulas. For example, sine A plus B is equal to sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. Alright, now if it was A minus B instead of A plus B, so what is it going to be? There's going to be a negative sign over here instead of positive. Okay, so likewise we have cos A plus B equals to cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Similarly, cos A minus B equals to cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. Alright, now these are certain formulas where the provings itself is not available. It is available, but it is slightly abstract. However, verification is possible, not proving. Alright, for the time being, what we are going to do is we are going to learn them, or to be exact, you could say you have to mug them. Alright, so same way, tan A plus B equals to tan A plus tan B upon 1 minus tan A tan B, and tan A minus B equals to tan A minus tan B upon 1 plus tan A tan B. Alright, now these are certain formulas. We are going to use them and we are going to try to solve questions, or we are going to further make certain formulas based on these formulas, certain formulas that are very important, that are very useful as you go further in higher classes, and these formulas you are going to be encountering on a daily basis. All right, so these are the certain formulas. All right, so take note, and further we are going to solve some questions using these formulas. Clear? The first question we are going to do using the formulas list that we had earlier. So in the question, what is given is we are given the values of cos A and cos B, where cos A equals to 4 by 5 and cos B equals to 12 by 13, such that A is greater than 3 pi by 2 and B is less than 2 by 2. Now there are limitations to the value of A and B, reason being obviously the trigonometric ratios are periodic. So what happens is values always repeat after a certain time. So instead of trying to go about the value that ranges between certain values, we are going to limit it down to certain specific values. How? By limiting the value of A and B. Okay, now you need to find the value of sine A minus B. So what is the value of sine A minus B? So to find the value of sine A minus B, we have to understand that sine A minus B comprises of the formula, which is sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. Simple. Now that being said, we have two values over here already, which is in the form of cos B and cos A. Alright. Now that being said, what about the value of sine A and sine B? Okay, now to find the value of sine A and sine B, we are going to use a slide of trigonometric part, slide formula of trigonometric part, where what is being given is we are giving the value of cos A, which is 4 by 5. Okay, now accordingly, if you remember, we have base upon hypotenuse, okay, as cos theta. All right, so we can easily compare that base is somewhat equal to a multiple of 4. All right, and similarly hypotenuse is a value whose length is a multiple of 5. All right, so approximately we can say that in a right angle triangle, my base is 4 and my hypotenuse is 5. It would be correct if I wrote it as 4x 5x, okay, which is the practical and right way of showing. Okay, so that being said, for 4x and 5x are the bases of the right angle triangle and hypotenuse is 5x. So if we use it in Pythagoras theorem, so instead of writing x, what we'll do is we'll just remove it, okay, because later on x is going to get cancelled and there won't be any use of x. So instead of writing x, let's just remove it, okay, and let's say this is perpendicular, okay. So according to Pythagoras theorem, we know that hypotenuse square equals to perpendicular square plus base square, and from here we can say perpendicular square equals to hypotenuse square minus base square, or perpendicular equals to under root hypotenuse square minus base square. Simple, okay. So that being said, you can easily find the value of perpendicular, and after finding the perpendicular's value, you can easily calculate sine A. Alright. So how much is perpendicular? For that, my hypotenuse is 5 square plus my base is 4. Sorry, it should be minus. Okay. Clear? So this should be equal to 25 minus 16, which is equal to under root 9, which comes out to be plus minus 3. However, length cannot be negative, so we are going to neglect the negative part and we are going to take into consideration only the positive value. Okay. So this is perpendicular, which comes out to be 3 in this case. So since perpendicular is 3, therefore sine A perpendicular upon hypotenuse equals to 3 upon 5. Okay. Using Pythagoras theorem, we find the value of sine A to be 3 by 5, and in the similar fashion, we are also going to find the value of sine B, which is equal to 5 by 13. Alright. Now, we have all the values of cos A, cos B, sine A and sine B. Alright. Now, using these 4 values, we can easily find the value of sine A minus B, which equals sine A cos B minus cos A and sine B. Clear? Easy? So from the above method, so we found the value of sine A equals to 3 by 5 using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, and likewise we are going to find the value of sine B as well, which comes out to be 5 by 13. Alright, now that being said, we are going to use the value you are going to use the formula of sine A minus B, which according to the previous topic we had sine A minus B equals to sine A cos B minus cos A sine B. Alright, so if you substitute the value of sine A cos B and cos A sine B, what are you going to get? The answer. So that is 3 by 5 into cos B 12 by 13 minus cos A 4 by 5 into sine B 5 by 13. 5 cancels out. Anything to be cancelled over here? Nothing. So we have 36 minus 4 into 5 upon 65, which comes out to 36 minus 20 upon 65 equals 16 upon 65. Okay, so this is your answer. This is the value of sine A minus B. Simple. So this is how we are going to apply the formula, okay, in solving the question. Now, second type of question in which you need to find the value of cos pi by 12. Okay, so such question in which pi by 12, the angle is pi by 12. Okay, you cannot break it into sums such as 2 parts. We cannot break this angle into 2 parts, where one part is a multiple of pi by 2 and another part is a known angle. Okay, as we did earlier in the previous classes, we cannot separate it into such way. So what should we do? We should be using certain formulas that we had earlier. Okay, in the previous topic, we can be using sine A minus B, we can be using cos A plus B, cos A minus B, and that formula is easily used in this. Okay, so how are you going to use it? So we can take a look at this value of pi by 12, and we are going to break it into two parts such that both the parts are somewhat known to us. Okay, so how are we going to do it? So we are going to break it into pi by 4 and minus pi by 6. Okay, see, if I multiply the denominators, it is going to give me 24, and then 6 pi minus 4 pi, and this is going to give me 2 pi by 24, which is equal to pi by 12. Okay, simple. So in this way, I'm going to break pi by 12 into two parts, where one part is pi by 4. It is a known angle to me. Pi by 4 is 45 degree. Okay, and cos 45 or sine 45 is known to me. Okay, that being said, similarly for pi by 6 is 30 degree. Again, it's a known angle. Okay, so you're going to solve it. We're going to write cos pi by 12 equals to cos pi by 4 minus pi by 6. Okay, so these two are equivalent values, but what happens is, in this we are going to get a form that is known to us, and it is equal to cos A minus B form. Alright, so cos A minus B, where A is pi by 4 and B is pi by 6, and accordingly we know that cos A minus B equals to cos A cos B plus sine A sine B. Okay, simple. So we can write cos pi by 4 minus pi by 6 equals to cos pi by 4 cos pi by 6 plus sine pi by 4 sine pi by 6. Simple. Okay, so here's negative, that means it is going to be positive. Okay, if you remember the formula. So this is going to give you cos pi by 4 cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Okay, similarly cos 30 is root 3 by 2 plus sine 45 1 by root 2, sine 30 1 by 2. Okay, so if you're going to solve it, you're going to get root 3 plus 1 upon 2 root 2. Okay, simple. Okay, so in this way we are able to find the value of cos ratio for certain value of angles. Okay, not just the angles that we practiced earlier, more so. Okay, as the angle value changes, we can find the value of cos, we can find the value of sine exactly accordingly, and using this formula of sum or difference of angles. Okay, clear? Similarly, instead of finding the value of cos pi by 12, let's say in the earlier classes we wrote cos pi being equal to -1. Okay, if you remember that. Now, how are we so sure that cos pi is -1? So to find that, we are going to break pi into two parts, where it is going to be pi by 2 plus pi by 2. Okay, so pi is being broken into two parts. Okay, now why is it broken? Because it's easier to see. These are known values, cos 90 or sine 90. So if you solve it, I'm going to get cos A cos B minus sine A and sine B. That being said, A and B are both 90 degree, so you don't have to worry about that. So what is the value of cos pi? It is cos 90 is always 0 minus. What about sine pi by 2? Okay, sorry, cos pi by 2 is 0. So what about sine pi by 2? It's going to be 1 into 1, which is equal to minus 1. So you can easily find the value in this way. Clear? Okay. Likewise, we have another question, okay, as we did in the earlier class about cos pi by 12, and same way we are going to solve tan 7 pi by 12. Okay, now to solve 7 pi by 12, you got to focus on this value. All right, and I'm going to break this 7 pi by 12 into two parts, where first part is going to be pi by 2 and next part is going to be pi by 12. Okay, now if you solve this and simplify it, you're going to get 7 pi by 12 again. All right, so I'm going to write tan 7 pi by 12 as tan pi by 2 plus pi by 12. All right, so focusing on what we did in the previous class, we have tan pi by 2 plus pi by 12. So this is the part where this angle is going to lie. So in this part, only sine and cosec are going to be positive. Therefore, tan pi by 2 plus pi by 12 is going to be converted into minus cot, okay, pi by 12. All right, negative because this quadrant, this angle lies in the second quadrant, so negative. Now tan 90 plus theta equals to cot theta. Simple. Now this cot can be converted into tan by reciprocal letting it into tan. Okay, using reciprocal formula, cot converts into tan pi by 12. Okay, now instead of finding minus 1 upon tan pi by 2, let's find the value of tan pi by 12, which is equal to formula. If you remember, we can break it into, as we did earlier in case of cos, we converted cos pi by 12 into tan pi. So we'll write tan pi by 12 equals to tan pi by 4 minus pi by 6. Now that being said, this is the formula of tan A minus B equals to tan A minus tan B upon 1 plus tan A tan B. Simple. Okay, so you can see clearly this is equal to tan pi by 4 is 1 minus tan pi by 6, tan 30 is 1 by root 3 upon 1 plus tan pi by 4 again 1 into tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Okay, now if you solve it, we are going to get root 3 minus 1 upon root 3 plus 1. Okay, now this is the value of tan pi by 12, but we are trying to find the value of tan 7 pi by 12, which is equal to negative 1 upon tan pi by 12. Okay, so what is the value of tan negative tan 7 pi by 12? It is equal to negative 1 upon tan pi by 12, which is equal to 1 upon negative 1 upon root 3 minus 1 root 3 plus 1. Okay, Clear? So if you solve this negative within the brackets, it's going to give me root 3 plus 1 upon 1 minus root 3. I'll multiply this negative within this value. Okay, so this gives me minus 1 minus root 3. So this is the answer. Simple. So moving further, we can again use the formulas that we had earlier, and then using those formulas we can easily calculate more formulas, okay, to add up to your agony of trigonometric functions. So that being a joke, we are further going to prove certain formulas using the previous formulas. All right. So what the formula is, sine a plus b into sine a minus b is going to give me sine square a minus sine square b. Similarly, cos a plus b into cos a minus b is going to give you cos square a minus sine square b. That being said, again, how do you prove it? All right. So to prove this, you're going to use the previous formulas of sine a plus b and sine a minus b. Simple. So what can be written instead of sine a plus b is sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. Clear? Simple. Similarly, sine a minus b, we're going to write sine a cos b minus cos a sine b. All right. Now that being said, what is being done over here? We are going to multiply sine a plus b into sine a minus b. Okay. So my bracket sine a cos b plus cos a sine b into sine a cos b minus cos a sine b. Okay, so looking into the question, as you can see, this part is a like term to this part, sine a cos b, sine a cos b. Similarly, this part of cos a sine b is like term with cos a sine b. All right, and this format is easily known to us in the form of a plus b into a minus b, that being summed up into a square minus b square. Simple. So we can write it as comparatively, what is a? Sine a cos b. So this can be written as sine a cos b whole square minus cos a sine b whole square. Easy. So further, let's write it as sine square a cos square b minus cos square a and sine square b. Simple. Now what about these values? Cos square b and cos square b and cos square a. Okay, we can easily convert it into sine using trigonometric identities. All right, so using the trigonometric identities, I can convert cos square b as sine square a 1 minus sine square b. Okay, so cos square b is written as 1 minus sine square b minus, instead of cos square a, 1 minus sine square a into sine square b. Okay, now you open the brackets and multiply it. You're going to get sine square a minus sine square a sine square b. All right, negative to be multiplied with, then you're going to get minus sine square b plus sine square a sine square b. All right, Now, looking further, you can see two like terms, which is sine square A, sine square B in negative form, and then in positive form, sine square A and sine square B. Okay, we shall cancel them up. All right. So what is left is what is required, which is sine square A minus sine square B, as the formula states, which is equal to sine square A minus sine square B. Clear? Simple. So what we did was we used the previous formula and we derived a new formula which states sine A plus B into sine A minus B equals to sine square A minus sine square B. Likewise, you can use it in this formula as well. The same method of proving. Alright. So for the today's session, this is the last question, the type of question that I'm going to do. Okay. And what is being stated in the question is, if tan pi cos x is equal to cot pi sin x, that being a given statement, then you have to prove that cos x minus pi by 4 is equal to plus minus 1 by root 2. Alright, simple. Now question is being understood. How do we move further? How do you solve it? Okay, so let's take the value that has been given in the question. And the question is that is given, the given part is we have tan pi cos x equals to cot pi sin x. Alright. So first step, what we are going to do is we are going to convert tan and cot into sin and cos. Okay, so instead of writing tan, I can write it as sin pi cos x upon cos pi cos x. The reason being tan x is equal to sin x upon cos x. Now instead of x, you have got this whole term. So I'm going to write sin, this whole term, divided by cos, this whole term. Simple. Similarly for cot pi sin x can be written as cos pi sin x upon sin pi sin x. Alright, your step first being done. Next we are going to cross multiply it, or you could say we are going to transpose the denominators. So after transposing the denominators, what we have is sin pi sin x into sin pi cos x equals to cos pi sin x into cos pi cos x. Okay, simple. Now what we are going to do is we are going to, let's say, take this on that side. Alright, or you could say you could take this into that side, it doesn't matter. What we are going to get is cos pi sin x, okay, into cos pi cos x minus sin pi sin x, okay, into sin pi cos x. Okay, now this is equal to 0. Alright, now do not confuse with the value that is positive over here and it becomes negative over here. Why? Because there is a 0 over there, so I can easily take out -1 common and then dissolve it into 0, and I can change the form accordingly. Okay, clear? So looking further, you can see easily cos A cos B minus sin A sin B, where A being pi sin x and B being pi cos x. Simple. So what is the formula for cos A cos B minus sin A sin B? It is equal to, easily stated, cos A plus B. Okay, so this is going to be cos A as pi sine x plus b as pi cos x. Okay, I'm going to merge this part into this using this formula. Okay, so what is on the right hand side? We have 0 over there. Clear? Now what is the value of 0? It is equal to cos 90 degree. Clear? So let's erase the spot. Alright. So we can write it as cos pi sin x plus pi cos x is equal to cos pi by 2. Alright. Now again, if you remember, within cos, if I place minus pi by 2, this is same as cos pi by 2. Or similarly, if I write it as cos pi by 2, obviously it is clear it is equal to pi by 2. So in this both case, for certain angle, positive 90 degree and negative 90 degree, the answer is going to be 0, which is same. So therefore, what we are going to do is, instead of just writing cos pi by 2, we are going to write it as plus or minus pi by 2, whichever case it may be. Okay, we can't be sure. So to make it positive, to make it clear, so instead of being definite about the angle being just positive pi by 2, we are going to write it as plus minus pi by 2. Simple. Okay, so this cos and this cos cancels out. We are left with pi sin x plus pi cos x, which is equal to plus minus pi by 2. Clear? Now, next step. You can see here, pi is common. Alright. So, we will take pi common and then cancel with that off on the right hand side. Okay. So, we have over here pi being taken out common, and then sin x plus cos x, alright, equals to plus minus pi by 2. Pi by 2 gets cancelled, okay, and then we are left with sin x plus cos x equals to plus minus 1 by 2. Alright, so next step, we have to prove that cos x minus pi by 4 equals to plus minus 1 by 2 root 2, and from here you can see cos x minus pi by 2, which is equal to cos x into cos pi by 2 plus sin x into sin pi by 2. Sorry, pi by 4. Okay, so looking at the question and keeping this in mind, we have to convert this into somewhat like this. So for that, what I'm going to do is multiply 1 by root 2 on both sides. So what is it going to give me? 1 by root 2 sin x plus 1 by root 2 cos x equals to plus minus 1 by 2 root 2. Simple. Okay. So now why did I do that? Because 1 by root 2 can be written as 1 by root 2 can be written as sin pi by 4. Okay. So sin pi by 4 into sin x. Similarly, over here 1 by root 2 can be written as plus cos pi by 4 into cos x, which is equal to plus minus 1 by 2 root 2. Clear? And then you can see easily over here cos A cos B plus sin A sin B is equal to cos A. You could write according to the question, instead of writing pi by 4 first, let's write x first because it is given in the question. X minus pi by 4 equals to plus minus 1 by 2 root 2. Okay, so you can see clearly cos x minus pi by 4 equals to plus minus 1 by 2 root 2, which is what is required. So hence proved. Okay, clear? Now if you have a doubt about pi by 4 being written first, it won't make a difference because cos function is a even function. By even I mean it can be written as cos. If I take out negative, it can be x pi by 4. Okay, so within a cos, if there's a negative value, it can be taken positive, so it can be written as cos x minus pi by 4. So in that way you can write it as this or this, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, clear? So this is all I have for you today, and I hope this part is clear to you. Thank you.